Welcome to Healing Over Here, the podcast where we journey together through healing, self-discovery, and empowerment.
Join your host, T, each week as she dives into topics that help you heal and become the best version of yourself.
Whether you're dealing with loss, navigating complex emotions, or seeking inspirational support, you're in the right place.
Join us as we explore insightful conversations, practical tips, and heartfelt stories that remind you that healing is possible, and it starts right here, right now.
Let's go!
All right, welcome back to Healing Over Here. I am your host, T, and today we have our very special guest with part 2, Miss B, and she is here to share a story with a couple that she knows. They are married, but cheating. So we're going to discuss this. I want her to share the situation, and then she and I will go back and forth just talking about this, because believe it or not, this happens more often than you think. Okay? So Miss B, I will turn it over to you.
Yes. So this couple that I know, I actually grew up around. I've seen them when I was younger. I've been to their house. Like, I've been around in their space together. I've seen how they work together and everything. So this was a shocker to me. And I still love the male in this because he's related to me, but it kind of looks at me. It kind of looks like, I look at him kind of like, dang, you really hurt the woman. Like, and I'm not going to say any names just for security reasons, but this is both of them are family members to me. The woman, of course, was married into my family, but y'all, it's a crazy situation. So let's get right into it. So
let me put the disclaimer out.
This woman,
it's heavy. It's really heavy. So, okay, go ahead.
It really is heavy. Miss B. So this woman called me crying, and she was just in distraught. And I'm like, what is going on? She said that her husband cheated on her with a porn star. They've known each other for a long time because of a mutual party. Both her husband and this woman, they met at this party, and they just connected. And I think she was looking for another job besides doing porn. And her husband put the lady on. We'll just call the porn star the porn star. So her husband put the porn star on to a job where he works, and they have been coworkers for months. And I guess they've been, closer, and they became intimate. It sounds like a setup to me, because there's a third party member that hooked them up, which will all make sense later, which is crazy. But yeah, so they got hooked up. Do y'all know? This lady, okay, let me give y'all some backstory. The porn star has 2 kids already. And she's a porn star. So she's nasty. She's already nasty. She is like, mind you, y'all, the woman in this, which is the wife I'm related to, she has everything in life. Like, that brings me back to a post Miss T sent me saying you can give a man everything and he will still not do right. You will cook and clean, and you can rub his toes every night, and he will still cheat on you and do you wrong. That is just so sad to me. But back to the story. The wife found out. I guess she went through his phone. They've had some deleted messages, and she pulled them back up. And that's the thing with these phones now. Like, you can delete a message thread and you can easily put that thing right back up. So that's exactly what she did. And she saw, that the lady was saying that she she may be pregnant by him. I said, what? That is just so sad to me.
Yeah.
Y'all, do y'all know that the wife that is related to me dug a little bit deeper and found some receipts, and he done bought this woman a car, the porn star, a Genesis at that. That is the luxury version of Hyundai or Honda, whatever it is, whatever brand Genesis is under. Cashed out. This is, and y'all, you know, I'm nosy. I looked up the specific car because I asked her, this car is over $50,000. And he paid it off. And guess what money he used to pay this car off? I didn't even tell y'all this. The wife and the husband, they have 2 kids together. And they started a college savings for them when they were younger, when they were born. When the oldest one was born, I think the oldest one is, I want to say 14 years old, 13, whatever. As soon as he was a baby, they started a college savings. Do y'all know that the husband used the college savings to cash out on a Genesis for this porn star? I said, I wish, y'all. I wish this. I was like, let's let that marinate for a minute. That is so disrespectful on so many levels. I would never touch my touch my children's college savings for no thought. I mean, I wouldn't do that. That's so disrespectful. Like, you crossing so many lines. Like, that's your kids. You messing with your kids stuff. That's their stuff. And then let me go back. What else I address? The car. Like, I mean, so the wife told me how she found out. She went to the dealership. I guess she found out. I'm not going to go too many in detail because I'll just be talking on here for 2 hours. But she dug a little bit deeper, went to the dealership, and found out that he wired the money over. And I didn't even know you can wire money to a dealership from an account or whatever. He wired the money there. And that traced back to his name. So, you done put this lady on to a job. Now she's your assistant, or it got to be close. He was coming home late, working longer hours, being intimate with her on a job. Has to be. He didn't sit here. Probably had till this day, I still need an update on the story. I don't know if she's pregnant or not, but she may be by him. So they've been intimate. So he's cheating on his wife. Bought a car for her.
Maybe
a Genesis.
Unprotected. Let's put that out there.
Yeah. Unprotected. Yeah. And also a top of the line car. I'm not talking about no little Hyundai or Civic, y'all. This is a Genesis. This is top of the line. I mean, emerald at that. The color emerald. That's rare.
So for clarity, there's Honda, and then there's Hyundai. And Genesis is the luxury brand of the Hyundai.
Okay, yes. So Hyundai Genesis. And I think this is the G8 860 or whatever it was. And you using your kids' college savings. How do you feel about that, Miss T? And what would you do in this situation?
Oh, boy. You know, first of all, thank you for sharing this story. This is one of the stories that you and I talked about, and it was part of the reason why I started this podcast, because I feel like there are so many different stories that we should talk about and share, because people are going through things, and, you know, hearing other people's perspectives and hearing what, you know, others might do might be inspirational. Of course, your decision is your decision, and you are going to base it on a lot of different factors. You know, I'm not in anybody's shoes, but That's a blow. That is a blow. I know I've heard of people being cheated on while they're pregnant, and that's a blow. But to your point, you know, I know this couple from a distance, and on the outside looking in, you're right. They put up this very beautiful united front, perfect relationship, perfect, everything, right? Both successful, have it going on. It's like an ideal family. But we really don't know what people are dealing with, right? Because we're not behind the scenes. We're not behind closed doors. But this is heavy. So I'm going to talk about the male, and then I'm going to talk about the female.
Okay.
So the male, I definitely know. I've known for some time. I've known him longer than the female. But I feel like this is not the first time. I really
Oh,
don't
heck.
feel like time because this is
It's
too much.
definitely not.
Yeah, this is not the first time, and that's a problem.
This is almost like a comfortable, I'm comfortable now. Now I'm doing more. Like
Yeah.
before when he was cheating, and I'm not trying to justify anything, but before when he was cheating, it was small. Like, okay,
No.
booking a
So there's a
hotel.
habit. There's a habit here.
Yeah, it is a habit here. But now this is the end. This is the final boss situation here. You buying chicks, female cars and stuff, and now she got a pregnancy scare. So you then probably planted your seed into another woman. Come on now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's horrible. I would never want to be in this situation. But for him, and I said this before, it seems to me like he is searching for something that he believes he can't get at home. When he's in his, and I don't want to give too many details, but I just want to mention his age range just for context. So he's not, late 40s or anything like that, or 50s, but he's in his 30s, I believe. And to me, it seems like he is searching for something that he feels like this porn star is going to fulfill. But there is this whole 80-20 rule. I believe, and I don't know the female that well, but I believe she fulfills 80%. I really do. This porn star fulfills that 20. And that 20 gonna get you caught up. That 20 gonna get you put out the house. That 20 gonna get you served with divorce papers. That 20 gonna give you HIV, herpes, gonorrhea, chlamydia. Okay? You're gonna get all those STDs messing with that 20. It's unfortunate because kids are involved, and I know they've been married for a while, at least 10 plus years. But that 20 guy, I'm sorry, that 20 got him caught up. Okay? That 20 got you, you might be living in a hotel or something. Is he the best role model for his children? I don't want to say their genders, but they're looking at him. Believe it or not, your kids are looking at you. What example are you teaching them? Are you teaching them positivity? Are you teaching them to hurt women? Are you teaching them to disrespect women? Are you teaching them, what are you teaching them? They know something's going on. They don't see daddy no more, or they don't see mommy no more. You never know the situation. Kids can pick up on something's not right. So at this point, he got to figure out what he wants. Do you want to be married? Clearly, the way you're moving, you don't want to be married. You want to be in the streets. You want to be community peen, okay? You want to be community property. And that's not a good look. Because he raised this family man, but you're not moving like as a family man. And I would love to ask him, was it worth it? All these nights porn star, was it worth it? She doing tricks and she, flipping and twisting and doing all of that stuff, but was it worth it at the end of the day when I thought family was what mattered to him? So I have questions for him, and I would love to know his outlook. And sometimes men who cheat oh, well, she was nagging me, or she was this, or she was that. But what were you doing? What was your part in this? Because you're not innocent. I put a lot of expectations on men. And when I talked to my friend, KG, you're going to hear me talk about this, but I put a lot of expectations on men. You're the lead. So this is where you leading me to? You leading me to the porn star bedroom? Like, what are you doing? Okay, so I spoke about the male. So now let me flip it to the wife. So my question to her is, do you want to be a part of a marriage where your husband is cheating and sleeping with porn stars? I don't know what happened in the past, but we know currently, 2024, his roster includes a porn star. What's it gonna be next? Right? Is this what you want to be a part of? Because if not, then you need to make a decision, getting your affairs in order, and exit strategy. Because let me tell you, from personal experience, they will say, "Oh, I won't do it again," or "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do better. Give me another chance." They're gonna sing to you all these amazing things that sound lovely, right? It sounds like beautiful words coming out of their mouth. They're a changed man, okay? They're painting this picture, but it's lip service sometimes. And there is a mentality. Sometimes men will stop. They like, oh, I got caught. Oh, I'm done. I'm not losing my family. I'm not losing my family over this. And they're done. But there are some men who like, oh, I got away with it this time. I'm gonna tighten up on being a little bit more slicker. I'm gonna get me a second phone, right? I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get a hidden app. They're gonna do all these things to not get caught because they found out how you caught them. Because I always said, follow the phone. Follow the phone. You will learn a lot about somebody's phone.
Yes, you will.
Their internet search, their internet history, who they calling, who they texting, who they communicating on social media, who they liking. Okay. I need to do a whole episode on that. But there are so many patterns that you can discover about a person just by looking at their phones or their laptops. Because sometimes they're like, oh, I won't do it on my phone. Let me do it on my laptop or my iPad or whatever other device you might have, right? So I always say, follow the phone. That will tell you everything. But for her, it's a hard choice to make because you're thinking about your children. But let me tell you, it weighs on you. It weighs on you, Miss B. Dealing with, and I know you've experienced it too, dealing with a lying, cheating man, it's heavy. And you got to keep dealing with them. And then it's like, do you trust them again? It's hard to trust them again. You questioning things, and you almost have to be a spy. Like who has time for that, right? So it can weigh heavy on you. She may be losing sleep. She may be, I don't know, having difficulty concentrating. And like you said earlier, maybe she think it's her fault. But I promise you, anybody that's cheating and lying on you, it's not your fault. It's their fault. And it has to do with them. Okay? The problem is not you, it's them. And sometimes that's your sign that you don't need, they're not for you. Okay, this man out here cheating, he's sleeping with porn stars unprotected. That is not for me. I need to be over here with somebody who's gonna tell me the truth, be honest, that's not gonna give me HIV, who not out here buying cars, buying trips, okay, buying whatever she want. Like, that's too much. It's really too much because once you start dipping into all these different fantasies and all these different things, hey, he might become a porn star. Who knows? Maybe deep down, he want to be one. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. But I would love to ask her that question. And I hope that this young lady is not pregnant, but hey, stranger things, right? All kind of stuff happens these days. You know, it's so many different scenarios out there where they do end up pregnant, and that's going to be very difficult to deal with. Like, oh my gosh, so you done had a baby on me too? Like, what more needs to happen for you to wake up? So, whatever she decides to do, it's her choice. But I truly hope that she is also not only looking out for her children, but looking out for herself. Because I would be embarrassed. Like, you done played in my face real bad. Okay. So I'm gonna turn it back over to you. I have more comments to share, but I'm gonna turn it back over to you because I know you have some things you wanted to talk about. Like, what would you do?
So I'm gonna go ahead. Well, first I'm gonna go ahead and address some of the things you said. I meant to tell you all about what how she even questioned about the porn star and all this other stuff. So the husband came up to the wife and asked if it was okay to go on a trip with his brother, which y'all will find out who that is later. But a trip with his brother. And in reality, it was supposed to be a 2-man. For my younger listeners, y'all know what that is. My older.
What does that mean? What's a 2-man? And you might as well go ahead and reveal who the person is, but go ahead. Who's a 2-man?
A 2-man is basically when it's 2 girls and 2 men. It's almost like 2 people come together, either it's the girl or the men. In this case, it's 2 men. They plotting on girls. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna invite these chicks, these random chicks. Let me put that out there. A 2 men are random people. It's the random people that you pick and you're like, oh, I'm gonna F with this one, or I'm gonna just talk to this one, just vibes. They go there for the vibes. So in this particular situation, the husband picked the porn star to be his entertainment, and then the brother picked who knows who to be his entertainment. So that's what the 2 men is. So that's
I'm sorry. I just need clarity. So I understand the 2-man concept. Do they ever swing? Like, is it like the men get with each other and the women get with each other? Is there some type of like, bisexuality taking place too?
It may be. I mean, I know somebody who done wore nipple clamps in front of women. Pink. They were pink. So it is the brother at that. The brother. So the brother has experience with men, I believe. There's stuff that I'm still finding out to this day about him. But it's just an unfortunate situation, y'all. Like, y'all just have to keep tuning in and be locked in with these episodes, because this is just a touch of the craziness in the G family. That's all I'm gonna say. This is just a touch of craziness, y'all. But I'm gonna just keep going. So the plan was to go on a 2-man on this trip, and the husband came up to the wife, asking, because that's what you do in a marriage. Like, when there's a trip coming up, you always go to your spouse and say, hey, I'm going this. Do I have your approval? So she was paying for the trip. That's another thing, y'all. He tried to get his wife to pay for the trip for another woman, for the porn star.
Shame,
and she wanted more insight. So she's like, who's going, blah, 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 like all this stuff. And then that's when she started digging through the briefcase and saw the receipt and all that other stuff. And then she went through the phone saying, I can't wait. They were talking about the trip. Oh, I can't wait for you to take me out the country and all this other stuff. So that's when she put 2 and 2 together and figured out that that's who was coming on the trip with him. And also the brother is a bad influence, because this is his older brother that does, and I'm gonna just be raw and uncut. The brother does some crazy things. He does some really crazy things that I wouldn't even want my younger brother to be around, because it's like, I feel like some boys, they're sponges. So anything they see, they think is cool and they start doing it. But that will get you nothing but hurt and left behind and divorced. Like Miss T said, it's going to get you left. That 20 going to get you divorced. So, yeah. The husband just, I think that husband is just following into his brother's footsteps. The wife doesn't want her husband around this particular brother of his, but well, his only brother of his. But because every time they link up, it's some crazy stuff. Some crazy stuff happens. Like my I'm trying not to say the name. Oh my God. But the husband, this is so hard. I'll say the name, but the husband keeps saying like, oh, he's not a bad influence. I don't do it. He blah, 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 blah. But every time y'all link up, you cheat. Every time y'all go out to the club for your birthday, you cheat. Like she has found she has found hotel receipts for 2 in his car. And that was the same night he was with his older brother on his birthday night. So he had a ball, boy. He had a ball, literally. So anyway, that was just some backstory. I just wanted to put that in there and address that. Next, I wanted to address what Miss T said. We were talking about the car. I feel like, how in the world? Now, mind you, let me give y'all some back context to this marriage. They have joint accounts together. They have a personal account, of course, and joint accounts and savings accounts. This saving account, the wife had access to, right? So how can you buy a car from an account and think you're not going to get away with it? That's the thing. Like it's almost like he didn't even try to do a withdrawal and then buy it. Like this was wired straight from the account. That's what I'm trying to like figure out. Like, how could you think you was going to get away with this and not leave no trace? You know? So I just wanted to address that because I know you was talking about that. And then about the whole phone situation. There's a way where you don't even have to go through a phone, and you can go through a phone. If they're on the Wi-Fi, you can just check the history. Or if you're on the same phone line, I'm just dropping tips, y'all, just dropping tips. If you have a cheating husband or you think he's cheating or whatever, and y'all are on the same phone line, you don't have to go through his phone. You can pull a report, a message report, phone report, calls, all of that. You can pull all of that up and catch him there, because papers and receipts do not lie. Words can. So that's all I wanted to really say about that situation. I feel like I really can't have say so on what I would do because I've never been married. I'm not there yet. I know that it's kind of harder to divorce. I'm not going to say you can't. It's not possible, because it is. But I feel like it's kind of hard to divorce with a person when you have so much together. Like they have land together out in another state. They have accounts. They done built. They have stocks together, investments, all this stuff. Everything is just joint. And I feel like it's harder to walk away. But this cheating stuff, I have known this for happening. It's been happening for years. Like since I was young. Like young.
Shame,
So this is
shame.
Yeah, and this is a repeated thing. And I feel like you said, Mom, to the wife, I feel like, what does it take for her to just go? And I can't even really say that because I don't know. I'm not in her shoes. Maybe there's a financial tie. Maybe and I'm not even, first of all, she don't need him. Let's get that straight. This lady has a phenomenal job. I mean, she can take care of herself and her kids and still maintain the house and still maintain bills and all that good stuff. But it's like, I feel like it's something deeper, because and I feel like she's considering it, because when she called me, she said, no matter what, you will always be my, whatever relationship we have. I'm not going to say it, but I will always be her family member. I'm going to just say that. And so I was like, dang, is she considering it? So talking to her on the updates of the situation, she's been kind of like, I feel like she's settling with it. I know that she has a mom that does not like it at all. The whole family knows. Both parents know. Both of his parents know. Because she told them. And I don't even think I told Miss T that.
Listen,
I know, right?
I perked up. So both parents on his side know.
Both parents,
wow.
they do know. Because she told me that the other day. They do know. And this one particular family member, G, and let me address this.
Knowledge is power. I'm just gonna say that. Knowledge is power.
It is. And I'm gonna just address this too. With this marriage, I feel like the husband always runs to his mom about things, and I think that the responses that he's getting isn't helping it at all. The wife has ran to his mom too and said some stuff, and they keep getting them to say, oh, just pray about it, just stay with each other, y'all have kids together, and y'all have all this money together, life insurance policies, blah blah blah. But I feel like health over wealth always. Even work, that's with a job, that's with anything in life. Health over wealth. I feel like if you're like you said, Miss T, you're draining yourself every day. Like, I feel like that is so hard, wondering if he got another woman pregnant. I feel like that just suddenly in your mind is kind of like, dang, if she's pregnant, what I'm gonna do? It's just a lot. I feel like it could be a lot. I've never been in that situation. I can never say that I know how she feels, because I do not. But looking from the outside in, it seems very hurtful. I've never heard her cry on the phone, ever. And she's explained multiple cheating situations with this man and with this boy, because if he was a man, he wouldn't be doing all of this. So it's just crazy, y'all. It's just crazy. I honestly hope to have her as a guest on this so she can share her story in her healing stage, maybe. In her healing stage, maybe when she's over all of this, and explain a little bit more on how she healed from this situation. And I feel like that would be a good outlook. Now, I'm not going to make any promises of her coming on, but I will consider in the future if when this passes, and if she divorced him, if she don't. The last update I heard was the papers were in motion. That idea can change at any given moment by those sweet words like you were talking about.
Right. Sweet, loving words. It sounds
sweet,
so
loving
good.
words. Yeah, it sounds great, But then when it happened again, it's like, dang. Then he hits you with the other sweet words, and then you back in. It's like a game almost. All love, to me, they say love isn't a game, but to me, it is a game, because it's almost like you have to. And yeah, let me touch on that for a little bit. My perspective of love, and y'all, I'm speaking for the teenage generation. I'm not speaking for the mature generation, because I don't know enough yet to even speak on love at that maturity level. But I'm just speaking for my teenage people. I feel like love in this generation is so hard now, because this social media stuff is almost like we don't even speak from the heart anymore. It's almost like social media will trick our minds to thinking one thing when we feel another. And it's almost like we have to force ourselves to, I don't even know how to explain it in words. It's almost like everything is just fake. Nothing is genuine anymore. It's almost like it's social media relationships now. Everybody wants the aesthetic of a good relationship, but it's not a real relationship. Just like, for example, everybody is on social media, and we can talk about God for a little bit. I'm going to touch on this really quick, but I know this episode is dedicated to the cheating spouse, so I'll get back to that in a minute. But I feel like everybody on social media wants this Christian aesthetic. You can sit here and go to church every Sunday. You can sit here and tell people you go to church, tell people you love God, tell people you read the Bible. But in reality, the real you is what you do at home behind closed doors, not when you get in front of people and show off and say, oh, hey, I'm holy moly and all this stuff, talking God and speaking all that. When you are alone in your own space, that is the real you. When you wake up and if you pray or if you don't, that is the real you. If you open a Bible or you don't, or if you don't. Some people only open their Bibles when they're in church for the sake of the pastor telling them to. And I'm going to just be real because I've seen it. I've seen family members sit here and go to church and act holy as can be, Sunday, best dressed, everything. And they don't live that. And I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not trying to rush people's relationships with God, because I know people, sometimes it takes hurtful situations for us to get closer with him, because he's trying to get our attention through certain things. And I understand that. But people fake it. And this generation that I'm in right now is fake. That ties all into it. Everybody wants to look like they are something when they are not. People want to look like they are happy on social media. Everybody wants to look like they are rich on social media, when in reality, your pockets are the real you. Everybody wants to sit here and just look like they have life figured out. And I feel like as a teenager, we are not supposed to have everything figured out. I feel like we beat up ourselves. Like you said in an earlier episode, we are our own critics, because we are. We sit here and graduate high school, and it's like that's when the world starts hitting, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't have that figured out. Oh my God, I'm going to be a failure. I don't have this. I don't have this. Like, the people that have $1 million young like this are blessed. They are blessed. But we are not supposed to have life figured out at all. We can have an idea and we can go to college and pursue that. But I feel like that is the reason why college is even here for us, so we can figure out what we want to do. That's why we can change majors. You expanding people, you're around different people from different countries and states and whatever. But I feel like we just beat up ourselves and try to rush our lives when we are, because I'm only 19 years old, because I used to do that at 17 years old. I used to beat up myself trying to figure out ways how I can get rich. Sometimes we stress over stuff I get it. Everybody's trying to get to the bag. I get it. Everybody wants money. I get it. Trust me, I get it, because I love money too. I love money. I get it. But sometimes you can stress yourself trying to do too much. Like, at this age I'm at now, I'm supposed to be enjoying life, living life, expanding, learning, and working at the same time, but not just work. And there was one year in my life, I just had no life. It was just working. Didn't even have time to enjoy my money. You know what I mean? So working for somebody else, by the way, that's another thing. But I'm like, why am I working? I used to work at Bojangles. So it's like, why am I sitting here working for somebody when I could be working for myself? I've always had that mindset. Like, if I'm working as an employee, best to believe I'm going to own that franchise soon. Like, if I was still working at Bojangles, I would have definitely either been a general manager or owned a franchise. Seriously. At 19 years old, I would have done it, but I didn't stay there. I wanted to do other things. But back to what I'm saying, this generation is very fake. I feel like everybody wants to be somebody they're not. And I feel like a lot of people haven't accepted themselves for who they are. Everybody wants to compare themselves. They see this girl at 19 rich, living in a luxury apartment. They sit here and try to do that and be that competition. It's like, I've even seen people steal inspo from other people's page. Like, they've sitting here and screenshotting, using screenshots that was on somebody else's page. I've seen all of it, y'all. I've had friends sit here and post lavish eating, lavish life, lavish trips, ain't been out the state once, stealing other people's content. And I feel like it's kind of sad, because it is sad on a deeper level. Social media is not real. That is my message. Social media is not real. I feel like social media can brainwash our minds into living too fast. Like, and again, I'm only speaking for the teenage generation that is listening. I'm not speaking for anybody else but y'all, because I'm y'all. I'm representing y'all. I'm with y'all. But it's almost like we are just bashing each other. Females are messy. It's like these females be so man evolved, like their whole life evolves around a man. It's like you're looking at these men to give you void, well, to fill in that void, to give you validation. You know, you need a man to compliment you to feel good, look good, and all that other stuff. And that's going to bring me into part 3 later about how I feel like a daddy and daughter relationship can affect the girl's romantic, intimate relationship with the man, because I feel like that can. But I'm gonna give it back to Miss P before we get into that segment.
Okay. Well, you said a mouthful. It was a lot of information that you shared. Very good points. Just really speaking to, the teenagers. And then I'll just include those who are in their 20s, because you're about to be 20 soon. So I'll even those who are in their 20s, it looks a little different. And I agree. I didn't grow up with social media, and part of me is like, I'm glad, but then part of me is like, maybe I would have known a little bit more, because how convenient is it? We can just go to TikTok and get an answer to everything and see a video. YouTube is, when I grew up, it was MySpace. YouTube was around, but it definitely was not on the level of what it is today. We used to, it's funny, you and your siblings think I'm from like way back in the day. I'm like, I'm not that old, but I get it. I'm older. So, it's just different generations. Sometimes they equate these days, today is like the microwave generation, like the microwave times, because everybody wants things so instantly. And there's no real personal connections anymore because we're texting all the time. Whereas I'll just say back in the day, you were picking up the phone and you were talking, okay? And you would fall asleep on the phone with your boo. But now it's texting, it's videoing, doing things on social media. It's just a different time frame as it relates to social media and technology. But I do hope people get back to those human connections, and courting, dating is one way to really find out about somebody. Like I shared with you, I was dating someone who, I thought he was cool, right? But I would text him when his Tyler Perry show was on, and he was like, "Oh, I can't respond until the Tyler Perry show go off." And I'm like, "Okay." And it was like it turned into, we would talk often, probably during that Tyler Perry show. And I'm not like a huge Tyler Perry fan like that. I'll watch some of his stuff. But all of a sudden it turned into, oh, I don't answer the phone with Tyler Perry on. Well, I left him and Tyler Perry right where they were and moved on, because that's not something I want to be a part of. Okay. You're not inviting me to watch it. So clearly I didn't know how to read into that. So I moved on. And at this point in my life, like I'm really not wasting time. You know, life is short. I've talked about that, but I don't want to waste any time. I'd rather waste time by myself. Let me waste time watching Netflix. I already have some shows I need to watch anyway. So if I'm gonna waste time, let me do that versus somebody telling me they can't talk to me until after Tyler Perry go off. So, it's a little different. But again, human connections are really where it's at. That's how you really learn about a person. And of course, going through their phone. Don't forget that. But my heart goes out to the wife in this scenario. I know this is a lot on her to face this. This is a big challenge. And I hope that she is able to continue to take time out for herself, because, betrayal hurts. Betrayal really hurts. You have this picture in your head that you're going to be together forever. This is your person. I don't know the ins and outs of the relationship, but I imagine, you love each other. You're still in love. I imagine that's the case. And to be hurt like this, it's ugh, it's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. And I'm glad that she has her mom. She has support, to help basically navigate this challenge that they're faced. Therapy is there. She can look at that. I'm sure she's had her open dialogue with her husband. It sounds like she done talked to the porn star too. So she doing her rounds. But, unfortunately, I'm gonna talk really quickly. If they decide to resolve things, it's on him. He would need to have changed behavior, not changed words, because we done heard from you. Okay, we done heard from you. Oh, baby, I'm sorry, baby this, baby that, right? So we've heard from you long enough. It's about change behavior. What are you doing when I'm not there? Not what you in my ear saying. What are you doing when I'm not there? And I would go as far as say he would need to go to some therapy. Okay. And he would have to show consistent actions. And he would have to work on rebuilding trust. And I don't know how forgiveness will work for either of them, but forgiveness, and that's hard. Like me personally, I couldn't do it. Because every time you get on top of me, I'm thinking about you that been in a porn star. I couldn't even do it. No, ma'am, no, sir. So if she decides to stay, she gotta forgive him and get past it,
Mm-hmm.
And
also, I mean, how can you forgive things? How can you forgive, something that's been going on for years? It's almost like she's okay with it now. Sometimes you become numb to things, and I feel like that's kind of sad. It's like,
I mean, is she getting her groove on? Like, I'm just.
It don't sound like it. I mean, it don't. I mean, I know she used to get her groove on, but I don't know if she's at that age where. But see, his mom told.
They both were cheating at one point.
Well, she did little stuff back at him, but she stopped. But he did it first, and I'm not trying to justify us. I'm not trying to justify it, but she talked to his mom about it, and of course she was like, "Oh, well, don't do anything back. It's going to get better," and all this other stuff. And that ties into telling your parent everything in a marriage. I feel like we're not supposed to run to mommy and daddy. When something happens, especially when you're married. I feel like some things just need to stay out. Now, if it's something drastic that you are crying for help, okay, run to mommy and daddy. But at the same time, I feel like parents should definitely stay out of, the marriage, which I think they were. They just, everybody wants to run to them. I feel like people can't ruin or talk about something that they don't know. So her going to a person that's going to give her the same response over and over again. I mean, why do you keep going to that person, his mom? She's not giving you any real advice. She's just sugarcoating her son. She's protecting her son. She's sitting here basically saying that she's sitting here saying that you need to deal with it because y'all are married. That is no excuse to me.
No, ma'am.
Right. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I have gotten I have gotten words spoken to me from that same individual. So
Right.
work it out, work it out. Didn't work it out either. So, typically I have seen parents where they just side with their child. I'm gonna
Mhm.
be I think for me, I'm gonna be fair. Now, yeah, maybe, but I'm gonna be looking at it like what's right, what's wrong. Like if you were wrong, I'll tell you. And if you're right, I'll tell you. So, parents have to keep that in mind as they're giving advice. Yeah, you want to be supportive, you want to be encouraging, but call them to the carpet. If that was my son, I would call him right onto the carpet. You are dead wrong. A porn star? What were you thinking? And don't get me started on his brother.
Oh Lord. We'll get
Even
hey,
go,
y'all, that's
I'm not
yeah,
even
that's
gonna go there.
yeah,
Like,
we
I'll be like, "Are you crazy?" All the stuff he done did, but you really have to, you know, as we get older. Yeah, in your 20s, yeah, you might be buck wild, right? But you in your 30s, you don't walk this woman down the aisle. Come on now. It's time to make sound decisions. Like the decisions you're making are affecting not just your life, but the life of others. And it's affecting generations. So keep that in mind as you're making these decisions. Everything you see isn't for you to jump in. You know, you don't have to jump in everything shaking. You're married. You know what I'm saying? Go home, be with your wife, go love on your wife. You don't have to love 100 women. Go home and love on your wife 100 ways. Okay? Because who knows if you even fulfilling her. Let's start there. Is she faking it? But that's what
it's a
going
temporary feeling. They try to fill that void or whatever. I mean, that brings me back to the post that you sent me. I mean, you can give a man all everything in the world and he will still that may just not be your person. That's
thank
another
you.
thing. Like everybody we get with is not our soulmate. Everybody we get with is not our person. Yeah, they may do things that you like, but that may not be your person. So that's why I encourage us teenagers to keep our options open because we are young. We need to be dating, we're still new to this world if you think about it. I mean, we don't even know, we haven't even been to Mexico. And you mean to tell me this person in the only state you've been in your whole life is your soulmate? You haven't even seen the world or explored the world yet. We do not know who our soulmate is. We do not know who our person is. Because sometimes when you're used to one person, you automatically think, okay, this is my soulmate because you've accepted so much from them. You have been around them so long. It's like you attach to them, but that may not be your soulmate. And I just wanted to put that in there because I feel like as a teenager, sometimes we feel like this person that made us feel this certain type of way is our person and they're not. But as we get older, like in your generation, Miss T, we think, y'all have a bigger open mind about things. Like I feel like you're still single until you're married. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Because
and
you
I
are.
yeah, and
Everything is an interview. I don't know if you're going to get the job or not. Interview them. Go on them dates. Go on all them dates. Explore your options. Tell them what they want to hear because they doing the same. Keep a roster because they keep a roster. Do what they do until you find your person. Until you find the person that, like, what did you tell me, Ma, the other day? Something about make sure you're not, make sure you don't, he's not who you want. Make sure he's who you want, or something like that. You said.
I don't remember the exact quote that I said, but
You said something like that. It was like,
yeah,
make sure
I'm always saying stuff.
you are who you're who he wants. Because sometimes when we
Oh,
fall in
I know
love
what I
with
was
who,
saying. I know
yeah,
what I was saying was it's not so much about who you are to him, it's who he is to you.
right.
we have to look for the person that's there for you. Because
Right.
I want to say 2 points. So what I would say to you was, hey, it's 7.9 billion people in the world. Why are you tripping over this one guy? And I would hate to see you so tore up over Jay. I'm like, this is a lot because, and maybe he's not it. So I used to hate to see you so tore up over what he was doing, but I know that was your journey and you had to walk those steps, walk that path and experience it so that you can come out of that stronger, right? So, the other thing, going back to the situation with the couple, unfortunately, there are people in that particular situation who are really being affected. And I hate that the husband didn't consider them first, right? He considered himself and his peen. Okay. That's all he was thinking about. And he didn't consider his wife. He didn't consider all the people that it will affect. He didn't take that into consideration, unfortunately. I know he probably regrets it. I'm gonna just throw it out there. He probably regrets the situation, but it's too late. It is way too late. And, at this point, how do you move forward? Because it's happened. You got to take accountability, right? Got to take accountability for your actions. You was out there popping, you was getting it on, getting your freak on. So now it's time to take accountability for those actions and then move forward. Do you move forward by yourself? Do you move forward with the porn star? Do you move forward with the porn star and a baby? Do you move forward with your wife? Like, there are different ways this can play out. But I do hope that she can heal sooner than later. It's going to be hard. Hopefully you can encourage her and love on her, and that she knows that she does have a support system in you. But it's really a terrible situation to be married and you find out that your husband is cheating with a porn star. Yeah, that's tough. Now, do you have any other thoughts to share before we close things out with this particular topic?
No, I just
we can talk for days.
I know we can talk for days, but I know that we do have to break this up in 3 parts. There is other things to talk about, but that will be on part 3 of this episode. But I do want to leave with a quote from my teenage audience. Do not settle. Please do not settle. If you know your worth, and I'm still trying to find my worth, that's another thing. We are growing every day. We are learning. We are not supposed to be at such a high maturity level in love. We are still learning. I learned from Miss T. I learned from, well, that's it, really. I mean, I don't have too many women role models teaching me things, but just try to cling to people who have been there, done that, so they can teach you. Because if you hear them talking, they always say, I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger or your age or whatever. So please listen to them. I mean, just don't settle. Focus on you. Don't call off work for no man. Don't miss opportunities for him. Don't sit here and buy him things, buy everything, buy his life. Do not let a man sit in your passenger seat. He needs to be driving. If you driving, drive his car. Use up his gas. Run his mileage up. Do that. But just do not settle. Just don't settle, y'all. Because I settled and I deserved much more. Like, I've had family members tell me he is way out your league. He's too childish. It's like, and they were right, because I'm not with him no more. So that's all I wanted to say. Just know your worth. And sometimes you have to remain single. Every guy you talk to, you do not need to pursue a relationship with them. Just date. Date does not have a time on it. Some people will date a person for 2 weeks and think they're obligated to be in a relationship on the third week. No, keep dating them with no title until he holds a title on you. You don't hold a title on him. That's all I wanted to say. But yes, y'all, wait, I gotta promote again. I gotta promote. If you don't have no brows, if you have spare brows, if you have bushy brows, if you have balding brows, please get your brows done. Book. My stuff will be in the description below. My name is Miss B. My brand is Bomb Brows by B. If anybody is in the South Carolina area, that's where I'm at. And yeah, I will be traveling to Georgia soon for about a week. So if most listeners are in Georgia, I will definitely do a pop-up and you can get your brows done. But that's it for me today.
Okay. Well,
I just hope that you all have a blessed evening, and please stay tuned and locked in to come to part 3. Oh, go ahead. I'm acting like this is my podcast. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, I'll be turning it over to you one day. So it's all good. But I did want to just touch on what you ended with. Yes, we will continue to promote Bomb Brows by B. So I'll be promoting it on YouTube, our social media pages, our website. Just if you are looking for a brow artist, she is here.
Mm-hmm.
And, I wanted to talk about soulmates really quickly because we did talk about that earlier. So I do want to touch on soulmates. And to anybody listening, doesn't matter your age, understand it's a couple things that I've learned. Number one, for the women, and maybe for the men, I don't know, but for the women, so often we look at how a guy looks and it's like, oh no, right? But what I've learned over the years is he don't have to look perfect. Now we're not going to go into the whole teeth situation because I do have a thing about your teeth.
Who's your dentist? Right. Go ahead.
Your dentist. When was the last time you've been to the dentist? When was the last time you've been to the doctor? I have a whole list of things, right? But basically, he don't have to be a 10. Okay. He don't even have to be a 9 or 8. If he can be a strong 6, a strong 7, we good. And hey, if you want to go down to a 2, hey, you like it, I love it. But I think sometimes we get caught up on how a guy looks, and that might be your husband. You know what I'm saying? That might be your soulmate. So be careful when you're meeting people and you're dismissing them based on their looks, because someone said this and it resonated with me. The only person that look good is me, the woman. You know what I'm saying? The only person that look good is me. Why should my man be looking better than me? And when she said that, I was like, that's a good point. Now you'll find couples, they both popping. They're both looking good. But there is nothing wrong with my fellow women for you to be the good looking one in the relationship. If that man is treating you right, that man is loving on you, that man not out here messing with porn stars, that man not out here messing with 52 people, that man not out here being a community merry-go-round, that man rubbing your feet at night, taking care of you, what's the problem? Okay. And make sure you have a foundation of friendship. I think sometimes, because I've been in some arguments with some men, and what I found is they get downright gutter. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. They will dog you. You say
this this is not my friend. Okay. This man is not
right.
your friend. You don't went there. So I say that because we sometimes we have a just a mutual respect for our friends. And a man that was my friend first, or a man who I respect, we're gonna move a little differently than a man that I wasn't friends with first, right? So keep friendship, as your foundation, because there are certain things that you're just not gonna do to your friends, and sometimes that means you're not gonna hurt your friend if you value friendship, if you value a relationship. And I wonder, in the situation that you shared, were they even friends first, or did they just jump right into a relationship? I want you. we finna we finna get it on.
Mm-hmm. And there's no foundation. That's
There's no
another thing
foundation,
too. I
and
mean,
that
there's no
that makes it
bond, no
different.
nothing. Just
Yeah.
just lust. And some people don't even know that they're only in lustful relationships
Oh
until
yeah.
after the fact, because that's what only keeps the spark. I feel
Yeah.
like sex is not the only thing that is supposed to be keeping the spark in a relationship. I feel like we can put that energy, that sexual energy, into something else. Let's go for a walk. It's a lot of things. And I'm speaking from a teenage perspective again. Um, I just feel like a lot of teenagers are only in lustful situations because that is the thing now. Not in my situation because I know better, but a lot of girls, their drive is that. That's the only thing that makes them feel validated. And then they sit here and put a title on it when that's all they're doing. They just sitting here messing with him, being intimate with him only. And they put us, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend because we're having sex. No, that's considered a sneaky link in my eyes.
Yeah.
So,
People jump into bed too fast to me. Like
oh yes, they do. They don't even
it
give it
blows my
time
mind.
to.
Yeah. It blows my mind. I know people who I'm in this organization, and they just jump into bed so quickly. And I'm like, what are you getting out of that? What exactly did you benefit?
Mhm.
How did you benefit from that? And I get it. There are people out there that's just freaky and, high sex
Can't stop,
drive,
can't
and
stop,
they
won't
out there
stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
can't stop, won't stop. Like they just got to get it on. And in their mind, um it's a thrill, right? Because I've heard that before. Oh, it's thrilling. Okay, it's like a roller coaster ride.
Well, who told you that?
It's the roller
That's
coaster ride out
crazy.
there. And
That's
I'm
crazy.
based in Atlanta. I don't think you need to be riding no roller coasters here. It's
I know. They need to be.
it's a little different. It's a little different here. It's a little scary, but what's scary is,
Atlanta is hot now.
yes, it's hot. It's hot here, but I
Hot,
think it's so many
hot.
people who do not use protection, and it's unfortunate. People catching all these different things, and yeah, some things you can take some medication for, but some things you can't. When I was in college, and I know we're kind of changing subjects, but when I was in college, there was this guy who was interested in me,
Mhm.
and I have to commend him because he was straight up with me, and most people aren't. But he was like, he has herpes. And I was like, that's a no. You help me make
Yeah.
up my mind because that's
Yeah,
something
and
I don't
some
want to be
people
a
don't
part
tell
of.
you. Some people
Right,
don't tell.
right.
Yeah.
They don't. So
Nowadays, you have to ask people for tests. You need to go to the clinic. Let's go to the clinic together. Hey, let's go to the clinic.
you,
Get these
you got
results back.
absolutely, because at this point you can't even ask a person. I know people are you clean? And they say yes. They're not gonna say no. They're trying to get some cookie. So no,
Mhm.
you need to show me. We need to log into your portal together. I don't even want to see it printed out. Let's log in and let's look at these results because everybody's medical record is in these systems, so we can log right on in. So Absolutely. It's just a different day. But I have to give him credit because, I wasn't like all into him, but we were just really good friends that we went on a couple dates. And he was like, "Hey, I would just want to be transparent with you." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I appreciate you for letting me know." And we were cool and we were friends, but of course, we never took it any further. But that was something rare because since then, I have never met another person who told me that they had something. Now, thank God, I haven't gotten anything, but I have to give him credit because, like you said, you have to ask them. And they sure, men don't ask women. They just jump in. I'm like,
Oh yeah, they don't care now.
you
They
crazy.
they don't care. They use that tool on anything.
Yeah, they think they're Superman until they get caught.
Mm-hmm. And then
And
the
then,
crazy thing is, y'all, they don't even care if they have it
mm-mm.
because the symptoms, it's crazy because sometimes you can have it and you don't even know that you have it because
Oh
there's a
yeah.
disease. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a disease out there. I think I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name. Y'all will tell me in the comments. But there's a disease that you don't have any symptoms. You literally have to get tested for it to come back positive and for you to know. So there are people
You
out
talking about
here that
HPV?
look like they don't have no, I think so, but they don't
Yeah.
have no lumps or bumps, but they got the disease. So be
Mm-hmm.
careful of that too, because the disease doesn't have a look. It does not have a look. So
No.
make sure y'all protect yourselves and clean
You gotta,
yourselves.
yeah, you gotta assume everybody has it and then let them prove to you
Oh
that they don't.
yeah.
That's how I was moving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
And teenage
assume that you
too.
have it. So
Teenage too.
prove to me you don't even have it. You
For
know.
sure. And teenagers too, because people only look at adults as having that type of stuff. No, our age group is prime time because we're the most active ones. So we need to be checking too. Seriously. That's why I just stopped. I just stopped all around. But I just feel like teenagers should be looking too, because I heard one of these girls say, "Oh, only adults can catch diseases."
That's
No,
ignorant.
ma'am.
That's ignorant.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's
That's
very ignorant. That means that you don't care what you get. You get it. And people
exactly.
lie, you know. They
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I don't have nothing, I don't have no bodies." And people lie about their body counts as well. You have to be aware of that too. Now, there's
Oh
no
yeah.
receipts for that, but I mean, I always expect people's body count to be high. You have to. I don't trust
Well,
nothing.
and that goes to the point that you made earlier about Jay. There's no way he gonna say he has 52.
Mhm.
He gonna say it's only a handful.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you have to be careful because something
Yeah.
like you're gonna get caught one day.
Oh, oh
One
yeah, for
day you're
sure.
gonna get
And
caught.
then,
Keep on dipping
mhm.
in there in the unknown. Keep dipping.
And when I look back over, the men that I've dated, the men that I didn't date, it's become apparent to me that there were some guys that I believe, I don't know for sure, were my soulmate. And guess what? Guess what T did? T turned him down. And I can't really go into why. Maybe I'll do that for a future episode. But I turned him down.
Yeah.
I regret it. But then on the other hand, it's like, I don't even know if that would have worked. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even
But
be here.
well,
No,
that's
I always
that's true.
or no, because I
This,
was
this
Before you.
maybe it would have came differently. Who knows?
I
But
know.
but it's all good. We live and learn. And
No,
I
it's
just
just hey, it's only one me, ma. It's only one.
it's yeah, it's only one B, it's only one
You
T.
heard me? I said
I
it's
heard
only
you.
one me.
Yeah, it is only one you. But we
Okay.
live and we learn. And I just hope that, what we share here on this podcast inspires and encourages you to continue to be the best version of yourself, to just make better decisions, I guess, right? Hopefully this gives you or provides you insight on, listening to
Yes.
experiences. Miss B, she's going to be a regular. I'm going to bring her back. even after this.
Yes, I am going to be a regular.
After this 3-part series, we're definitely going to bring her back because she could definitely give us, the perspective from the younger generation. What is the name of your generation?
Yes.
Is it, what is it called? I don't even know. I just know I'm X. What's yours?
It's a wreck. That's all I can say. It is a wreck. It is messed up.
Right. It's not the above it.
Yes, it's a wreck. It is a wreck because I'm like, I grew up. Oh, you being literal. Oh, I'm being funny. But I feel like
you're the millennials. Are you millennials?
I guess, Mom. But at the same time, I feel like we do. My ending quote. Now I know I didn't try to end this before, but I guess we're really wrapping it up this time for the sake of we have to still do part 3. But some of this stuff will be in part 3, so just keep staying locked and tune in. But my message for the teenage people is to not live life restricted. I feel like we should live, love, laugh all the time. I stay laughing every day, even if I don't talk to nobody, I'll laugh at myself. Love on the people who love on you. And live life. Just live. Don't stay here and live life restricted because you can't afford something. That's another thing. Even like there's so many free things you can do to just live. Like I feel like some people, they restrict themselves. They don't have enough money for this activity or this activity. They keep working and doing all this other stuff. You do not have to restrict yourselves from anything. Even with all these crazy men in this world, you do not have to restrict yourself. Still keep looking good.
Oh yeah.
And I've had a person tell me that they stopped jazzing up for their men because he don't deserve it or something. Continue to look good and don't let no man tell you what you can or can't wear. I've heard somebody tell their wife, you don't need to be wearing no red lipstick. Why you all dressed up? You can't even look good for yourself. It's always got to be for somebody else. Like somebody jealous saying, oh, who you looking good for? I look good for Miss B. I look good for Miss B. I do my eyebrows every day for Miss B. I've had people say to a certain family member, why are you wearing heels to go this place? I go by this quote, when you go out, you don't know who you're gonna see.
Yep.
Like you don't want to be a regret when a 10 out of 10, my teenage audience know what that is. You don't want to, be out and a 10 out of 10 walk past you and you looking rough and runchy. We are women. I feel like every time, I don't care if you go into the bank, I don't care if you go to the mailbox, put on some lip gloss and put on some perfume, something to leave a trail. And make sure you wash before you do that perfume because layering starts in the shower. Just a side note, because people down here, you can smell the funk under that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That was just the disclaimer. That was just a side note. But I'm just saying, y'all, just go out your best. When you go out, be at your best, look your best, all of that. But that's all I have to say for today. Don't live life restricted.
I agree. Yeah, and try not to live life with regrets. There are some things that I'm like, ooh, I should have did that differently. But try not to live life with regrets. Be open. You're gonna make mistakes, but try to make your sound decisions that do what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, what matters is you. So with that, we will wrap up part 2. I want to thank Miss B for taking the time out to join her mother on this podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in to part 2, which was married but cheating with a porn star. So if you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast because your feedback helps us reach more people. Okay. And until next time, take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't cheat on your spouses. Don't cheat with a porn star. And remember that healing is a journey. So this is T signing off because we healing over here.